I made more money the first 13 days of this month than I've ever made in a full 30-day month. My top month was June in 2025 of last year. It was a $17,000 profit month, completely from high ticket sales, a little bit of affiliate commissions and bonuses included with that. And in just the first 13 days of February, I made over $20,500. And in this video, I'll kind of break down how I did it, where I've been, because I know I haven't posted in a little bit, but yeah, I've been able to legit have a record month within the first 2 weeks of the month. And it's February, so it's a short month, so we only get 28 days. And the goal is to get to 40K, but anyways, record month so far, and a lot has changed since my last video. As you guys can see, rocking the LLC merch, I'm back as a closer for the LLC. Shout out to them boys if you guys know who Pierre, Benny, a lot of those other guys are at the LLC. That's who I used to work with as a sales rep. That's who I started with over a year ago, just over a year ago actually today. Left for 5-6 months just to go off and do my own thing. Decided that it wasn't for me. Decided I want to come back as a sales rep. And now we're here. Now we're hitting record months. Now we're breaking records. We broke the single week cash collected both for myself and for the entire agency. And everything's been smooth so far. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how it was possible in the first place. Not necessarily the skills, not necessarily what I say on calls or how I get people to buy, but physically and logistically how it was possible for me. Now, I think the first point I'll make in this video is that you can be the most skilled person in the world. You can be the most skilled sales rep in the world. Just because you're the most skilled does not mean that you're going to be the highest paid. Now, let me elaborate on what I mean by that, because a lot of people are going to take that the wrong way. But if you think about, let's say, the most jacked guy at the gym, right? You could have the most muscles. You could be the strongest, best looking person there, but you might not be the most well-known person or the most, how do I say this? Get the most eyeballs at the gym. The reason why is because yes, skills are important. Yes, skills pay the bills. And if you don't have the good skills, you won't get any money in the sales space. But it's more importantly about the person that you are, the person that you portray yourself as when it comes to working with a team. So for my example, obviously I left an agency. I was one of the top closers there when I was a sales rep back there. This right around August of 2025. I was one of their top guys, and within a day, I was literally hanging out with them the day before. The day after, I left and I was out of there. And so what I could have done is left the agency, started talking shit about the people that I used to work with, start talking like I was hot shit, and started riding this high horse of I'm a business owner, I'm an agency owner, I know what I'm doing, I'm a salesman. I could have been that person. I could have went on social media, started stunting on everyone, but instead I did quite literally the opposite. Paid them respects where respect was due. Really just focused on myself and what I was doing, not other people. And if I had done the first option, would I have ever had the opportunity to come back in the first place? Obviously not. And so point I'm trying to make here is you can be the most skilled sales rep. You can know the most reframes. You can know the most ways to objection handle a prospect and how to sell B2B and sell to high level people. You can know all of these things. But if you're not somebody that they would want on your team, you're dust. Why would they bring you? Why would they onboard you? Why would they hire you? Why would they allow you to come back after months of not working with them? And so when you are going out to make a loom, when you're joining a new team, when you're doing your outreach, whatever the case is, yes, your skills are important, but it's more importantly about who you are as a sales rep, because skill set can get better over time. You can improve your skills by investing into coaching or practicing with somebody or doing mock calls, role plays, call reviews, etc. But what you can't change is someone's personality. You can't change the person that they are off calls. You can't change their work ethic, their personality, the way that they talk to their team members. And so along with the skill set, of course, that's important because you have to have skills to get paid. Focus on being somebody that people would want on their team. So for my example, I consider myself an A player. Now, I don't just consider myself that. I've heard it from others, right? I know I'm an A player. But to become an A player, what you have to do is think like the business owner and not just like an employee. Because if you're thinking like an employee, what do you think the output that you're going to have on the sales team is? Well, I don't really feel like taking this call. Yeah, I can block off my calendar at this time because, X, Y, and Z is happening. Oh, I'm not going to work because it's Sunday. And all these different outside factors because you're thinking like an employee. If you think about who you should be as a sales rep from the business owner's perspective, who would the business owner want me to be as a sales rep? If I was the business owner, if I was hiring somebody and they were working for me, what would I want my closer to do? Whatever that idea is, enact that, become that person, and you will never be poor again. You can constantly make as much money as you want to because you're simply the person that you would want on your team. The second reason that I was able to make over $20,000 this month in just 13 days is because of my connections and because of the brand and the name that I had built in for myself. And this kind of goes into point number one, but I'll transition into it and make it a second point. Also, because I don't have a script for this video, I'm just talking to the camera, is the brand and persona that I built around myself. Kind of goes into point number one. The reason why it goes into point number one is because it's about the person that you are. But I had connections from over a year ago. I've been building connections in the high ticket sales space for over a year, and I want to say 3 months. I think I got into this in about November 2024, and I know a million different people in the online space now. I have a bunch of mutuals on IG. I've been posting content here on YouTube, on Instagram, growing my personal brand, growing my following. Most of the friends and the people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 people that I know here where I live, and the rest I talk to are just online. And so by building my personal brand, by building my connections and making friends in the space, I've been able to have a network that I have access to. And so I went from, quote unquote failed, I would just say unsuccessful or not as successful as I wanted to be as a sales manager, as an agency partner, to going right back to closing and making $20,000 in my first 2 weeks back. I had not taken a sales call for months, at least consistently. I'd taken a few here and there with clients and stuff like that, but regular B2C sales call, I hadn't taken one in multiple months, and I instantly made money when I came back. The reason why is because I had a network, I had connections, I knew people, and I was able to put myself in a position to get back to where I wanted to go. And so if you're in high ticket sales and you're not posting any content online, you're not building any sort of personal brand, you're just another random Indian phone setter, right, that wants to apply for the offer, how can you expect people to reach out to you? How can you expect to have the conversations that you need to get on the teams that you want to be on? Now, I'll give you guys an example of this without going too much into the details. But once I had decided that I was done being a sales manager and that I wanted to get back into sales, once I had decided that, I was doing outreach within like communities and I have a coach, of course, and so I was using his connections to help me find offers. But one random night, I was at dinner with my friends and I got a call from the agency owner that I work with now saying, yo, I heard you're in the transfer portal. Do you want to come back? Of course, I fucking said yes, because I love the guys that I work with and I love the culture that they have and I love being a part of their team. More importantly, I love making a shit ton of money. But the only reason, they came to me and they called me. The only reason why is because I had made connections and I built my name and my face enough in the space that I hadn't posted anything about me, leaving sales management. I hadn't posted anything about me coming back to closing or becoming a sales rep again. Somehow, some way, through the grapevine, they found out and called me and said, hey, do you want to come back? Obviously, that's a blessing. Shout out to you guys, because I fucking love you guys, and we're all going to get richer together this year. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have any sort of network or any sort of name or any sort of personal brand in the space. And so if you are new, I encourage you to build your brand. I wish I had posted twice a week or 4 times a month on YouTube last year. I wish I was posting reels earlier last year. Unfortunately, I didn't. Now I am, and that's how we're going to get this channel to 5,000 subscribers. That's how we're going to get my Instagram to 10,000 followers. But I wish I did more when I first started, because my name and my face would only be bigger, which is only going to allow us to all get richer. The final point, and point number 3 in this video, is that in order for me to have made $20,000 this month, is one, I had to have the goal, right? Because my goal is 30K a month this year. If I get to my first 30K month, I want to consistently make 30K a month. After that, make it unreasonable that I can make less of that. That's my goal, right? Which, obviously you have to get to 20K a month to get to 30K a month. That was my goal, but more importantly, I believed truly in the bottom of my heart that goal was possible. And if I didn't truly believe it in the back of my mind, if I didn't truly see the vision, if I didn't truly see that it was possible for me to get there, I was never going to get there in the first place. Shout out to Pierre for this idea. I was watching some of his older videos just to find a little bit of inspiration for the Yap session that I'm going on right now. But he talked about hitting his first $100,000 month. And that the only difference between him and the people who have not gotten there or haven't done anything with their lives is because he truly believed that it was possible for him to get there. Now, the importance of this is that the moment that you believe something is possible, most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to truly believe that it's possible to make 10, 20, 30K a month as a closer. Especially sales reps. They have all these limiting beliefs about being stuck at $10,000 a month when it's not true. You have to find opportunities and find ways to get to 20, 30, 40K a month. The reason most people don't believe that it's possible is because the moment that you admit that it's real, the moment that you admit that it's possible, the moment that you admit that other people out there are doing it and they're doing it legally and it's real, now it's your responsibility to get the outcome, right? But if you always say that it's fake, if you don't truly believe it's possible, then you always have something to fall back on, which is, it's not going to happen anyways, it's not real. And so in order for me to get to where I've been this month, in order for me to find the success that I've had, this past year of getting into online business after dropping out of school and quitting my job and leaving my old life behind, the only way that it was possible is because I truly believed that it was possible and I saw myself doing it. For example, even if we go back a year ago when I first got into online business, what did I do before I made a single dollar? I'm not sure if I've told this story on my channel, but before I had ever made a single dollar, it was right after I bought my first or my second mentorship, but I'd never made $1 online up until this point. Before then, I dropped out of school. Technically, I dropped out of school. I pushed my classes back to the second half of the semester. So for January and February, I didn't have to do any schoolwork. And I also quit my job before I'd ever made a single dollar. I lied to my family. I said, I told my family that as a setter, I was going to have a base pay of $2K a month. I said, they're going to give me a base pay so I can just quit my job, whatever. I told him I was still in school. I didn't tell him anything about my classes or anything like that. The reason I did that, the reason I had the conviction in myself to push my classes back and to quit my job before I had ever made $1 is because I believed, more importantly, I knew that it was going to become true, that I was going to make a full-time income online. And what do you know? It became true within the first 1 or 2 months of me doing so. And so the only way you can achieve those goals is if you truly believe in your mind that you are capable of achieving them, most importantly, that they're real in the first place. Because if you never acknowledge the fact that it's true, that it's real, that there are people doing it, you'll never have the responsibility of actually having to do it yourself. Now, I know that was a little bit of a yap sesh, but I appreciate you guys for watching. A little bit of backstory in this video, a little bit of inspiration and motivation in this video. I'll make more sales-specific topic videos in the future as well. If you guys have things that you guys want me to make videos about or topics that you want to hear, be sure to leave a comment on this video. I'll make them in the future. Most importantly, guys, I want to leave you with this. If you are looking to get into high-ticket sales, or you're in high-ticket sales and you're stuck at 2, 5K a month, you can't get to 10, 15, 20. I was just like you. I'm no different than you. The only difference between me and you is that I took action. It's not a motivation thing. It's not an upbringing thing. It's no other factors. I'm no different than you. I'm a normal-ass kid. I was in school. Nobody in my family was in sales. None of this shit, if you really like crunch the numbers and you look at the different scenarios, probably shouldn't have worked out, but I had the conviction in myself to do it. And so if you want my help and if you want to learn and work with a team of guys that are going to help you get the outcomes that you want when it comes to sales, just send me a fucking question. Now, no CTA, but just hit me up on Instagram and we can talk more about how I can help you. More importantly, how the team behind me can help you guys get to where you want to go with high ticket sales. Well, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.